Salve discipuli, this video will cover many of the things that we talked about in class regarding numeri, the numbers. So as we said in class, there are rather different kinds of numbers. We have our cardinals, which you can see here, ordinals, distributives, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, which we can't express in English in one word, multiplicative numbers like single, double, triple, and numeral adverbs once, twice, and thrice. And we looked at the cardinals. Remember, cardo means pivotal. It also means a hinge or something that's important. And we'll get unus, duo, and tres, and these are the only ones of the basic numbers that are declinable. That means they'll have different inflected endings for the genitive, for the ablative, and so on. If we look at unus, we'll get unus, una, unum. So in the nominative, we get all three genders represented. In the genitive singular, they're all the same. In the dative singular, they are all the same. In the accusative, unam, unum, unam, unum, okay, which we can understand. And we remember, of course, that when we talk about neuter nouns, they're always the same in the nominative and accusative. And our ablative, uno, una, uno. And I'll put these macrons in to help us out. The number 2 follows a slightly different pattern. It kind of looks like a cross between the second and third declension. So we have duo, duorum. And then we've seen the bus before in the third declension when we had ibus. Okay, so this is 2, of 2, 2 or 4, 2, and so on. The feminine starts off like a first declension noun, but then we get that bus in there. And the neuter is the same as the masculine, except in the accusative, because remember, with neuters, the accusative and the nominative have to match up. And then if we look at the number 3, tres, masculine and feminine are the same. Okay, tres, trium. When we see ium or arum or aurum, that um, it usually tells us that we're looking at a genitive plural. And here it is in the neuter. And the nominative and accusative are the same when we talk about neuters. So our numbers then are unus, duo, tres, quator, quinque, sex, septem like September, octo like October, novem is 9, decem is 10 because December used to be the 10th month, undecim is just a 1 plus a 10. Notice the spelling of decim has changed. Duodecim is the 2 and 10. Tridecim is 3 and 10, 13. Quatuordecim, quindecim. Okay, the que that we had before is now gone. Sedecim, the x is gone. Septendecim, there used to be an M here that has been changed to an N. And then for 18, we use something called a subtractive number. And what we're really saying is 2 down from 20. 2 down from 20 is obviously 18. Un deviginti is 1 down from 20, which gives us 19. And viginti is 20. Viginti unus is 21. But we could also say unus et viginti, 1 and 20. There's still 21. Triginta is 30. Quadraginta is 40. Quinquaginta is 50. Sexaginta is 60. Septuaginta, 70. Octoginta, 80. Nonaginta is 90. Centum is 100, and mille is 1,000. And you'll see that percent sign is actually just a 100. Percent, per centum, for each 100. That's what 5% means. And then we have the less commonly used per mille, parts per thousand. So, duo amici is two friends. The number is being used just like an adjective. Duo is only used for masculine and neuter. And amicus, if we know our declensions, usi o umo I, it's nominative plural. Duo filii, dui filii is two daughters. Okay, so we're using the feminine version of two. And filii is daughters in the nominative. Viginti milites, 20 soldiers. Unus miles, one soldier. And we know because of the us here that a soldier must be masculine. Una nox is one night. Duae noctes, two nights. Una fabula is one story. Octo fabulae is 8 stories. Una uses the feminine ending. That matches up very nicely. Octo does not change. We're not going to say octae fabulae. And the reason is that after 1, 2, and 3, the numbers are not declinable. Una navis is one ship. Duae naves, two ships. Una forma is one shape. Tres formae, three shapes. Una mons, one mountain. Duae montes, two mountains. Unum tellum is one weapon or one spear. Tria tella, because it's neuter, we're using tria and not tres. 3 weapons. So, quatuor pueri is 4 boys. Quatuor puellae is 4 girls. And you'll notice that 4 being indeclinable is going to be the same. Quinque vidi expectant. Well, we know to look for our verb. Expectant is they await. And we know who they is. The men await, or the men are awaiting. 5 men are awaiting. Yes, we could say the men are awaiting 5, like they're awaiting 5 people, but we're going to keep it simple for now. We can change this around and put vidi in the accusative, which means they're not doing any waiting at all, they're being awaited. Expectant, quinque vidos. They're awaiting 5 men. Duo pueri dant. Dant is give. Duo pueri dant. 2 boys give. What do they give? They give dona. And here is a dative. 2 boys give gifts to 10 girls. Tres pueri. Noem puellis. Dona dant. Well, here's our verb, dant. Some group is giving. Is it the 3 boys or the 9 girls? Well, this one is dative, so they can't be giving. 3 boys give 9 girls gifts. Okay, or 3 boys, 2 9 girls give gifts. So if we were to use the number as an adjective, una femina, one woman, there's your nominative. The genitive, unius feminae, of one woman. The dative, uni feminae, two or for one woman. The accusative, unam feminam, one woman as the direct object. And the ablative, una femina, by, with, or from one woman. And I'm not going to list the vocative here because it's the same as the nominative, and there's no plural of the number one. Ordinals are a very simple affair. First, second, third. Primus, secundus, tertius, quartus, quintus. Sextus is sixth. Septimus is seventh. Octavus is eighth. Nonus is ninth. Decimus, undecimus is 11th. Duodecimus is 12th. Tertius decimus, third to 10th, which is their way, the Latin way of saying 13th. Okay, now let's take a look at partitives and how we can use numbers with them. So remember, partitive expressions show the relationship of part of something to the whole. For example, part of the story or none of the towns or something like that. So we have pars, satis, parum, nihil, multitudo, multi, and plus. Okay, and these are called partitive expressions. And one of the formulas we need to know is a partitive expression plus a noun in the genitive case. So pars fabulae is part of the story. Pars oppidi is part of the town, and everything you see in red is genitive. Pars urbis is part of the city. Pars patriae, pars libri, okay, part of the country, part of the book. Satis lucis, a sufficient amount of light. There's that genitive again. Satis aquae, enough water or a sufficient amount of water. Multi navium, okay, many of the ships. Multitudo navium, a multitude of ships. Parum aquae, part of the water, or not enough water actually. Parum frumenti, not enough grain. Plus virium, more men. Plus aquae, more water, or more of the water. Plus auxili, more help. Nihil temporis, nothing of the time or no time. Nihil certi, nothing of certainty or nothing certain. Nemo is no one, so nemo amicorum is none of the friends or no friends. And nemo amicarum is none of the female friends. Okay, so you can see all of these partitive expressions are paired with a noun in the genitive case. We can also use the ablative with these partitive expressions, and the formula is a partitive expression plus de or ex and an ablative noun. So you might see pauci de amicis or pauci ex amicis. Pauci means a few. What we're saying here is a few out of the friends or a few of the friends. Okay, so it's basically a way of saying the same thing. We're talking about part of the whole. 2 out of 5, 3 out of my friends, none of the water, all of my cousins. So, tres ex amicis, this is now using numbers in these partitive expressions. 3 of the friends. Tres ex amicis meis, 3 of my friends. Quinque ex viris, 5 of the men. Okay, we see we're using ex or de We're saying it's out of, kind of like we're coming out of that circle of the whole. Centum de discipulis, 100 of the students. Duo ex filiis, two of the sons. And you might be thinking, well, filiis could also be daughters, which is true, but duo is only masculine. Okay, so this doesn't give you enough information about the gender, but the duo does. Quatuor ex urbibus, four of the cities. Viginti de navibus, 20 of the ships. Centum de virus, 100 of the men. So that's it for this slideshow on numbers and the partitive expressions. There will be another one. Much of this is in lessons 21 and maybe even a little bit in lesson 22 of the textbook. I hope you found this useful. Walete!